Hi, everybody, and welcome to Simply Cards by Kathy. I'm Kathy Ondas, and I'm so happy to have you here with me. Today is Tuesday, December the 27th, 2022. I hope everybody had a great holiday and had some time for some relaxation and fun with family and friends. Um, as we finish up the holidays, I thought it'd be time to start some sneak peeks of that new catalog that's coming out next week. So today I want to share with you a card. It's a quick and easy card, but I really wanted to go over how to use the hybrid embossing folder. And the bundle we're going to use is called Sweet Citrus. And I absolutely love this bundle. This was one of the ones that when I first was on stage and saw the mini catalog, it caught my eye and I knew it was the first one I ordered. So I have been playing with this over the past 2-3 days, making tons of cards. And I wanted to share this one with you tonight. So I am going to flip this camera over to my desktop. If you are new and found my channel, welcome. I'm so happy you did. And if you're returning or you catch me on the replay, thank you for your support and helping me grow my channel. So let's flip this over and we're going to get started. Okay, hopefully you can see and hear me well. If you're here live with me, leave me a comment. Let me know who you are and where you're from. If you saw my little teaser about tonight's video, you saw this card. This card is out of Highland Heather, and it's a basic size card, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. But I'm using the hybrid embossing folder not only to emboss the background of my card, but also to cut out the images. So I'm going to teach you some tips and tricks for using that hybrid embossing folder and the dies. And we're going to get started. So let me bring this in for you. This is the Sweet Citrus. It's a photopolymer stamp set. And what I love about these stamps is you can make this a lemon, an orange, a grapefruit, and I'm working on a coconut. So I love the real kind of whimsical font. And you have some really cute sayings. Enjoy the sweeter things in life. Have a zesty birthday. Sending you a big squeeze and thanks a bunch. Now, if you go over to, I'm going to pull in our dies, and not a lot of them, but this cuts out this whole image right in here. So it's going to cut it out for you. And the nice thing is you can stamp your images and cut them out without using that hybrid embossing folder. Or you can use the hybrid embossing folder and cut out the images, and the images themselves will be embossed. And I'm going to show you how to do that. You have some leaves here, and you have these really cute flowers with all kinds of dies to cut those out. And then if I bring in the hybrid embossing folder, it is, and hopefully you can see that. You can see this, the back of it, all of the sweet citrus or the slices, and even a half of a citrus fruit. So we're going to start with this. So let's move this all off to the side, and I am going to bring in my supplies. Now, I showed you the one that was Highland Heather, and I wanted to bring this point to you. With these citrus pieces or slices, I did not use the hybrid embossing folder and emboss those slices. I used the embossing folder on the background here, but these I just stamped and cut. For the card that we're going to do today, I'm going to show you how to stamp and cut them using that hybrid embossing folder. So we're going to do a different color. I thought it'd be fun to do melon Mambo. I know it's not summer, but I just thought melon mambo with some daffodil delight for lemons, with as cold and snowy and windy as it's been, would be a lot of fun. So this is an 8.5 by 5.5. It's scored at 4.25. I'm going to go ahead and fold this and burnish it on my score line. Now, I want to emboss this, so I'm going to show you how I do it. You may have another way to do it, but this has worked well for me. When embossing this, I take my piece that's going to be in the front, whichever side that is, and I'm going to go ahead and pick this up and slide it in. And I use that black line as my guide for my cardstock to be straight. And I use my score line over here to line up the very edge of my embossing folder. So I have the edge lined up. Now I just need to bring it back a little bit and bring that back up on my the black line here. So I'm straightening it out. So here's how I'm going to emboss the front. Now I'm going to bring in my cut and emboss machine for you. Now remember, we always say run your fold through first, because if you run it through backwards and it clicks on here, you're going to crack that fold and split your folder. But when I'm doing this, I run mine through on the side. And that way, and over the years, I've never cracked one that way. Now for the hybrid embossing folder, I'm using plate 1 and plate 4 simply to emboss the outside of my card. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to have to pull this in again when I show you how to use the dies. But I think we're going to be okay with that. So let's set this off here. Okay. And look at that beautiful embossing. Isn't that gorgeous? Hopefully you can see that. I just love it. Now, once I emboss, I do turn my card over and I do burnish just along the edge again, just to make sure I have a nice flat surface. So there's the front of my card. Now, I wanted to do a white strip. So with that, I have a piece of 2" by 5.5" because I wanted it to run from top to bottom on my card. And I'm using the Melon Mambo or the Brights Designer Series paper today. And this is 1 3/4 by 5.5. And my goal was to just have a white edge along each side and then have this run along here. So we're going to go ahead, and I'm using my green glue, my multi-purpose glue, which I love. And we're just going to go ahead and adhere, this to our white strip. Now, when I am adhering this to a dry embossed piece of cardstock, I always use my multi-purpose glue. And the reason being, you have all these creases and crevices in here, and I want that to adhere well. So for me, I have found that's what works best. You may have found using the Stampin' Seal or something else works for you. So use what works. And then we're just going to adhere this right here. And I'm just going to give it a good press. All right, here's the front of our card. So let's go ahead and we're going to do some stamping. Now, what I have found is that a piece of 4.25 by 4.25 works really well for stamping this. And I'm going to bring my stamp in, and you're going to see this is a pretty floppy stamp. So what I have done is I just drop it down, and then I have my big block, which is my E block, and I just kind of turn it so that I can fit it on here, and I'm ready to stamp. Now, there's all kinds of ways you can stamp these images because we have a center to stamp. I thought for today, I thought I wanted to have some bright lemons. I just thought it would look really pretty with the melon mambo. And I needed something springy or summery. So we're going to use some Daffodil Delight. But when I bring in the other cards, I'm going to show you some other combinations. Now, because this is a large stamp, I turn my ink over and I ink it up. I find I get less ink on the edges so that I don't transfer it onto my cardstock. I just want to make sure I have some good coverage. Now also, because this is a photopolymer stamp, I'm going to bring in my piercing mat because I want to get a good image. And I'm simply going to go ahead and give it a good press and hold it there for a minute so that ink transfers. So there's my outline. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean off this. And then we're going to go and stamp the inside. So let's do that. Now for the inside, you have the more detailed pieces that show your sections of your citrus, whether it's an orange or a lemon. And I am going to re-ink this also using the Daffodil Delight because I want that bright yellow. And again, whoops, let's make sure that's stuck there well. It's wet from me cleaning the other stamp. I'm just going to give this a good push. Let's try that again, because I'm afraid it's going to, oh, there we go. No, it's going to fall off. So I'm going to turn this over. And we're going to put it down on here. And I'm going to re-ink. And it's not sticking. So I'm not sure why it's not sticking. There we go. So now I'm going to position this, and this is, you're just going to go, I'm going to try to keep my head out of here. This is going to position right in the center of those citrus peels and give it a good push. And there's your images. So now we want to cut those out. So I'm going to show you two different ways. One is if you wanted to just cut the images out, you have your die. And you simply would place it over like you would any die and run it through your cut and emboss machine. And using your plate 1 and plate 2 and both of plate 3. But I want to use this with my embossing folder. Hi, Carol. Thanks for joining me. Now, to use the embossing folder, I'm going to move this out of the way. And we're going to open our embossing folder. And when using the Hybrid Embossing Folder, the part that says Stampin' Up is where you're going to place the dies. The dies are going to fit in the negative cut images. So we're going to set this in here. and they almost like click in, but they don't lock in. So you still have to be careful using them. So then I typically hold one finger somewhere on there, and I'm going to go ahead and work or place my images within that embossing folder. And you can see it was really pretty easy to do. If you need to line them up a little bit or move them around, I just take my finger and hold it in there and then wiggle my paper. But I'm really almost pretty happy with that. I want to move this half a slice of lemon over a little bit. So it just takes a little bit of finagling and a little bit of practice to line those up. And I think that looks pretty good. So now what do? Now we're going to bring our cut and emboss machine back in. And we're going to use plate number 1. And you can see part of it I can see here. And we're going to lay down. You want the fold to be the one part that's going in first. And then we're going to cover it with plate number 4. And we're going to go ahead and just run this through. Here we are. Great. Okay. And let's take a look at what we have here. So when you open your embossing folder, you have your dies, but your images are all cut out for you. And you're ready to actually use them. This one just needs, this one might need a little snip. There it is. And here's this one. And you have this image and you can just toss it away then. So here's our images, and I want to show you the difference in this one that is, you can see the embossing on the citrus slice versus this one that is not embossed. So you do get a little bit more depth to that image. So we're going to use these, and we're going to set this, and we're going to bring this back in. So I want to arrange these kind of in just a bunch of citrus. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this one down. Now, the one thing I did that I had cut out ahead of time were a couple leaves. And these are out of Pear Pizzazz. And I don't know if we're going to use them or not, but we'll see. So I kind of want to just kind of play with it and see how you want your images to look. And then kind of go ahead and adhere them. So I'm going to put my lemon down first. And I'm going to put that down in the background. Kind of stay with me through to the end because I have another interesting one to show you. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this one down next. And I'm going to do that with, let's put this one down, and I'm going to glue this one down. And I'm going to use my multi-purpose glue because, again, a lot of little cracks and crevices from the embossing. And I'm going to put this right here. And then I'm going to come in with my half a lemon. And I'm going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals. And this one I'm going to pop up. So let's add some of these here. I cut my Stampin' Dimensionals in half. I find it works for me, and they go a little bit further. And I simply just cut down the row. So let's go ahead and we're gonna put this one right. Let's go right in here. Okay. Now I want to come in with my lemon slice. And do I want that at the top or at the bottom? I think I'm going to switch this one up and I'm going to go across the top here, or maybe even over this way. Let's do that. So because this is going to pop up in here, I am going to use a glue dot. You don't want to use a dimensional because it's not going to lay right. So I'm just going to pick up a glue dot and then I'm going to make sure that I get a dimensional in the corner and one here on the top. And let's go ahead and adhere that. Now I think we're going to add our leaves to this one. I am going to show you one that I did without leaves when we're done. And you're going to have to let me know which one you like best. So let's go ahead and we're going to bring this in. Right like that. And I want to bring in my leaves. So let's do one here. And maybe one in here at the back of the lemon. Let's do that. So I'm going to pop these up with dimensionals again, just on the edges. And I'm not going to put one in because I'm going to use this to tuck that in. And these are going to sit on the edge of the card. So there's that. I want to move that over a little bit. There we go. And then this one I think I'm going to tuck in. Let's go with that. So again, just putting them right on the edges. And then we're going to, and you can just kind of play with it and see where it is you want it to go. This is going to tuck in here. There we are. So there's our lemons. Now let's go ahead and do our greeting. So I have a strip here, and I believe this is a 1/2 inch strip. And for this, I want to just say, have a zesty birthday. So I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to use my Tuxedo Black Memento ink. Okay. And we're just going to go ahead and give it a good press. And then we're going to trim this off with our snips. Now, if you're new and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would be honored to have the opportunity to earn your business. But also, if you don't have a demonstrator and you would like a catalog, please hit that button up at the top by my banner, YouTube banner. Go over to my website where it says contact me, send me your name and address, and I'll be happy to send you the new mini catalog. Or the annual catalog also, if you need that. Here you go. Now, I'm going to put another one in the middle because I want this to go right across the top here. So I think instead of covering this one, I'm just going to put it right off to the side, and where it says have a zesty birthday. Now let's do our inside. This is a piece of 4 by 5 1/4. And I have a strip of the matching designer series paper in the Melon Mambo, cut by 3/8 by 5 1/4, and we're going to glue that down along the side just to kind of dress up the inside a little bit. If you like today's video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you hit that subscribe button, that will help me grow my channel. Also, feel free to share the video. That also helps me grow my channel. And I appreciate your help with that. Now, I also want to stamp my greeting. Now, this said, have a zesty birthday. So I thought it'd be fun to put sending you a big squeeze. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to use our Memento, Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And let's go ahead and adhere that. So here's our card. Now we could dress it up with, I have some of the 2023 Opal rounds. And I know this is pale papaya. Also, this is polished pink. So they're light in color, but we certainly could use those. We could also use some iridescent basic pearls to dress it up. So I think I'm going to go with the pearls. Let's do a pearl. I'm going to put one here by that lemon slice. Let's do a small one down here. And let's do another small one. I'm going to put one over here. So let me move this off to the side. So here's our sweet citrus. Oh, we have a dimensional there. Let me get that out of there. Oh my goodness, look at that. Okay, so isn't that pretty? I love this stamp set. Here it is in the Highland Heather. Now, for the colors, you can make this whatever you want. This is in So Saffron. And I stamped both the peel and the inside in So Saffron. And this one is in Coastal Cabana, I believe. And I stamped this in Mango Melody. And then the inside is Pale Papaya. So look at that. Isn't that pretty? So here's 3 different ones using sweet citrus. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'd love if you'd leave me a comment as to which one you like best. I don't know which one I like best. I actually like them all. So I am going to switch this back over. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I really had fun sharing it with you. We're going to be doing a lot more with this bundle. And I hope you have a great day. I will be back on Friday this week for Friday Fun at 1, where we're going to do another sneak peek. So you have a great week. Stay safe, healthy, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a great evening, everybody.